Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the November 22nd edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Joelle Kaplan, and I'll tell you about the latest scandal at UNC and its effect on the university's reputation.
Plus, the new healthcare law could help women pay for birth control.
In sports, the football team's loss to NC State caps a terrible weekend in UNC athletics.
Weathercaster John Boyer will tell us if we can expect these mild autumn days to continue through the Thanksgiving break.
All that and spinning tunes for the Tar Heel community.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Most people would probably forgive Chancellor Holden Thorpe if he were to label this the semester from hell. Good evening, I'm Megan Cassell.
And I'm Eddie Sykes. Thank you for joining us. Well, the NCAA football investigation, the loss of several high-profile professors and administrators to other universities, and now a lecturer forced to resign because of inappropriate contact with a female student. Joelle Kaplan joins us live in the studio for more on this latest body blow to UNC's reputation. Joelle, some would say this semester just can't end quickly enough.
And some of them are UNC administrators, Eddie, who've spent the fall term dealing with one PR nightmare after another. The latest involved instant messaging between a professor and a student working at one of our partner news-gathering organizations. ReeseNews.org broke the story that its own executive producer, Monty Cook, had resigned because of an incident involving a female student. Reese News reporter Shane Ryan wrote the story.
In terms of what Monty did, there were some, like you said, embarrassing things done, and the perception problem was huge, but I think the way we reacted to it hopefully mitigated it at least a little bit.
Interim executive producer Don Wittekind says it was important for Reese to break the news first.
It was a hard thing to do, but it was exactly what a journalism organization should do in the circumstance.
Many have praised Reese News for its transparency, but some view the scandal itself as yet another mark on the university's already tarnished reputation. By now, you probably know a lot about the multi-pronged investigation into the football program, involving agents, improper benefits, and even academic misconduct. It's become a question of the university's integrity, and former President Erskine Bowles is outraged.
I'm disappointed, I'm embarrassed, I'm angry, I could use a lot of other words, about what happened. I can't overstate that.
But who's to blame? Assistant football coach John Blake resigned when his links to agents came under scrutiny. Former tutor Jennifer Wiley is a UNC football pariah, banished in this letter from athletics director Dick Bador for giving players illegal financial and academic aid. And now Cook, a UNC alum who joined the faculty in March, takes on the role of yet another villain in the tale of UNC's tainted image. But Ryan doesn't think the actions of individuals will cause lasting damage to the reputation of the institution.
Things are going to happen. I mean, he could have been at any university and probably the same thing would have happened, you know. So in terms of saying this is UNC's issue, you know, I don't think anybody's going to make that leap.
But people are making that leap, Eddie. One News and Observer reader said online, UNC just can't seem to catch a break.
Well, yeah, it certainly seems that way, Joelle. But where does Reese News go from here, and where does the university go from here?
The Reese News journalists say the controversy brought them actually closer together and brought users to their site, you know, strangely enough. So they think they'll be fine with new leadership. And as for the university, administrators are just going to have to keep up the damage control and hope that everything's going to get better with time.
All right, well, that's Joelle Kaplan live in our studio. Thanks so much.
After a 5-month examination process, the Board of Trustees has decided not to move Rush to spring semester. The university will use mandatory deferment only as a punishment for chapters that don't follow a new resolution authorized by the board. This resolution includes limiting the amount of time spent on Rush and Greek education activities, as well as a performance-based recruitment system. Chapters that don't meet the standards can't recruit new members.
Well, 2 UNC seniors have won Rhodes Scholarships, the world's oldest and best-known award for graduate study. International Studies major Lawrence Deschamps-Laporte from Canada and Psychology and Business Administration double major Paul Shorkey from my alma mater, Myers Park High School in Charlotte, will study at the University of Oxford in England. UNC has produced 47 Rhodes Scholars since the program began in 1904. Now that puts Carolina in tie for first with UVA among public universities. And community organizations are coming together to feed the homeless this holiday season. The Interfaith Council of Carrboro has joined forces with the Carrboro Farmers Market. Past Thanksgiving drives have consisted mostly of canned and processed goods. However, the IFC is pushing for more fresh produce this season, and 60 local farmers have agreed to donate.
Last year's holiday season generated the worst sales since 1970, but this year, stores are trying to avoid that by starting sales as early as today. Amazon.com is giving customers a week to shop at Black Friday discounted rates. Sears will open on Thanksgiving for the first time in the store's history, and both Toys R Us and Walmart will open at 10 p.m. Thanksgiving night. Store reps say they're slashing prices on electronics and toys. The National Retail Federation expects holiday sales to increase 2.3% compared to last year and generate $447 billion. And in order to get to the specials first, some shoppers are booking hotel rooms near the stores. Tanger Outlets in Mebane is having this effect on nearby hotels. The Hampton Inn, located near the shopping center, is already almost booked for Black Friday, and managers expect all of the rooms to be filled by Thanksgiving Day.
Well, women insured by the UNC system or other healthcare providers could be getting early holiday gift for free birth control. Reporter Kirsten Garris tells us why the new healthcare law could provide cheaper options for women's health.
Whether it's the pill, the patch, or the ring, it's all birth control, and soon it could be all free. Lee Josephson is a UNC senior and co-chair for Voices for Planned Parenthood. She likes the new law because it lets insured women get reduced prices for birth control. She says the expense every month can be a big burden for students.
I do have a lot of friends who don't buy birth control every month because it can be very expensive.
Josephson thinks making birth control less expensive will help the economy.
You're saving a lot of money if you're providing women a way to prevent pregnancy, and then you're also preventing all of the costs.
UNC campus health counselor Meredith Conrad says because of the high prices of birth control, some patients choose products they can afford, not what works best.
Oftentimes they'll have to pick a method that, maybe isn't their first choice and doesn't fit as perfectly into their life.
Studies show that 98% of women use birth control, 55% report struggling to pay for it, and 71% of Americans think it should be free. Allison Kaiser is a field manager for Planned Parenthood of Central North Carolina.
It turns out that 1 in 3 women nationwide have struggled to pay for her birth control at some point.
Josephson also said there hasn't been much opposition to this part of the healthcare law.
We can find really a common ground, maybe not for the very, very religious who are completely against contraception in general. I think people can really see the value in making birth control really easily available and inexpensive.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Kirsten Garris, Carolina Week.
Inexpensive birth control and many other provisions of the healthcare law could be on the chopping block. The Republicans who now control the House of Representatives have vowed to try and repeal healthcare reform legislation.
Injuries constantly plague athletics teams across the country.
Coming up, we'll show you how researchers at UNC are making sports safer.
Movement. Along with weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
G morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me back. Hey, did you tell your parents about us? Let's skip first period together. Did you get all my texts? Is practice over yet? Where are you at? Are you with your friends? That's L-A-A-A-A-M-M-E-E-E. Capital X, lowercase o, capital X, lowercase o. I love you. JK. I hate you. JK. Are you ignoring me? We're in a huge fight right now. Is this something I did? I can see your lights on. I'm coming over. This isn't a joke. What'd you dream about? Did me? My number? I'm lonely. Holla back. Holla back. Let's try something new. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Many of us enjoy the physical nature of football, but don't want to see the players get hurt. The game is safer than in past years thanks to national injury research conducted right here at UNC. Carly Stevenson has that story.
When players tackle and block during a football game, there is always a chance of injury. In 2008, there were 43 catastrophic injuries in high school football and 7 catastrophic injuries in college football. Thousands of sports-related injuries happen yearly. The man behind the numbers is Fred Mueller. Mueller has collected football injury data for high school and college sports through web searches, phone calls, emails, and state athletics associations since the 60s.
We've reduced these numbers, and we're helping kids that are starting to play now, and maybe they won't get a catastrophic injury.
Mueller compiles 3 annual reports that include national statistics about sports injuries that result in death, disability, or recovery. A catastrophic football injury is defined as a sport injury that results in a brain or spinal cord injury or skull or spinal fracture. When we're watching a game from the stands, a major hit may not seem like a big deal, but we know from Fred Mueller's research that some hits can have a major impact on players. UNC freshman linebacker Darius Lipford knows firsthand about getting injured and recovering. Lipford got a concussion after a head-to-head blow from one of the blockers during the game against Rutgers.
I just remember me waking up and not really being able to hear much, and I couldn't move anything except for my head.
So the next time you enjoy an injury-free football game, remember to give Fred Mueller some of the credit. In Chapel Hill, I'm Carly Stevenson, Carolina Week.
To see the full version of the annual injury report, go to carolinaweek.org.
Well, some people are already trying to burn off Thanksgiving calories. The 30th annual Turkey Trot was Sunday. The Turkey Trot is a 4-mile course that starts at Forest Theater and goes through the North Carolina Botanical Gardens. Each participant is required to donate 1 canned good, which goes to the food bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. Nearly 90 runners took the challenge, raising far more than 90 canned goods. Well, if you're interested in a fun and fast-paced workout, you can now take a cycling class at the gym. Fetzer Hall just opened a new studio specifically for spinning group classes. It's equipped with several stationary bicycles that allow you to monitor your heart rate and speed. To sign up for a class, go to carolinaweek.org for a link to the cycling schedule.
The Church of Reconciliation on Elliott Road is known for its environmental outreach. The church is now in the 10th church in the nation to receive the Environmental Care Certificate from the Presbyterian Church USA. The church has installed water-saving devices on toilets and energy-saving light bulbs throughout the facility. Members also renovated one of their buildings, adding more skylights and windows to avoid having to turn on the lights during the day. The altar in the church was made from trees that grew on the property right there, and there's a labyrinth outside for meditation and worship. Before we start putting up Christmas trees, local elementary school students had a chance to celebrate Arbor Day. A North Carolina forest ranger presented Chapel Hill its 11th consecutive Tree City Award. Then, second graders from Sewell Elementary School, gold shovels in hand, planted the ceremonial Arbor Day tree. Chapel Hill Mayor Mark Kleinschmidt also spoke with students during the event. The town plants a tree each November for the annual event.
Well, it might seem warm out there right now, but it's going to start cooling off a little bit more as we approach the holidays.
Weathercaster John Boyer joins us now in the studio. John, when can we see fall weather again?
Well, Eddie and Megan, it feels great out there right now, as you said. We'll return to those above average temperatures once again tomorrow, and then we'll be cooling down going into the Thanksgiving weekend. I'll have the forecast details after the break.
How you feel? How you feel?
I'm feeling good. Spin me, spin me.
Got you.
Oh, goodness. Oh.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm John Boyer. We saw our temperatures in the 70s today. Normally around this time of year, we'd be talking about high temperatures maybe around 60 degrees. So we're already well above average, and we'll have one more day of nice weather in our forecast before things start to change a little bit. We'll see clouds on the increase throughout the week, and then our temperatures will drop off after Thanksgiving and then going into the weekend. Right now, RDU Airport radar coming in clear and dry, so nothing to see there. We'll move on to the satellite picture nationally, where there's some scattered cloudiness throughout the Carolinas, clear up in Virginia and throughout the mid-Atlantic, but most of the cloud cover is off through the Mississippi River. Chicago and Detroit socked in with clouds right now. That's all thanks to a cold front. Behind this is some really cold Arctic air, and it'll take its time throughout the week, slowly moving to the south and east. So for the time being, this high pressure is our big weather maker, and it's bringing our winds out of the southwest. And when we have our winds come out of the southwest, that means one thing: warm temperatures. So tonight is going to be a very mild night, lows right around 50 degrees, fog at sunrise, and don't be surprised if there are clouds in the morning, but they'll burn off. We'll see the clouds come in once again during the afternoon and evening hours, maybe a sprinkle a little later on. But the big story is our high. We're 75. The record for tomorrow is 77, so we'll come very close, but I don't think we'll beat the record for tomorrow. Now here's the surface map tomorrow. We see that the cold front is just knocking on our doorstep. That's why I included the chance for some sprinkles late. But what's going to happen is that after this makes its way over the mountains, it'll sort of fall apart and reorganize a little bit. So we're not looking at showers for us on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we'll stay partly cloudy with a high of 62 here in Raleigh, 50 if you're flying up to New York City, and all of the rain, if you're doing any kind of plane travel, will be off to the west. So watch for delays back towards Chicago, where some of that could mix with snow. Now on Thanksgiving Day, we're looking for 55 in Washington, D.C., 46 if your travels take you up to Detroit, or 66 down in Nashville. Those showers are becoming a little more widespread, and they're pushing to the east. So closer to home, let's say you're doing some traveling around the state, 54 for Boone on Thanksgiving Day, 61 in Salisbury, 59 in Asheville, and 64 down in Greenville. Or if you're heading east on Thanksgiving, we're looking at 61 in Roanoke Rapids, 66 in Greenville, and upper 60s, 69 in Lumberton, and 68 in Wilmington. The best chances for any sprinkles on Thanksgiving Day are going to be in the western half of the state. So on Friday, your travel forecast not looking good. If you're standing outside for Black Friday shopping anywhere up and down the eastern seaboard, bring the umbrella with you because it's going to be cloudy and chance for showers all throughout the day. One other forecast note: football, 3:30 Saturday. I know that's way out there, the Duke game, but let's go ahead and take an early look at the forecast, and it's looking nice so far, but notice how much cooler our temperatures will be by that time on Saturday. So the full 5-day forecast just sort of reinforces that trend where temperatures, they start out nice on Tuesday at 75 and then are falling throughout the week, mid-60s Wednesday and Thursday. Then we get our chance of rain late Thursday into Friday, and then we're back down to the 50-degree mark on Saturday. So that's actually below average. We start above, go below.
So, John, I'm going to New York City. Should I bring an umbrella to the parade on Thanksgiving?
It's looking like the morning hours are going to be okay on Thanksgiving, but during the evening and then going into Friday, that's when you'll need the umbrella up there in New York.
All right, John, thanks so much.
All right.
Our area is often able to attract big names in the entertainment industry. The radio network Radio 1 Raleigh hosted the very first media and entertainment convention. The attendees had the opportunity to meet industry professionals, as well as some of their favorite artists, such as Young Jeezy and Lupe Fiasco, and maybe get their names in front of record producers in their quest for stardom. Well, sportscaster Justin Page joins us now in the studio. Justin, I did not like seeing the basketball team lose this weekend.
Right, and the football team, too. They kind of couldn't get it together.
Oh, no, most definitely. And unfortunately, the weekend only got worse for Carolina sports. Both the women's field hockey and soccer teams also fell. But was it the worst weekend ever for UNC sports? Coming up after the break, we'll let you make the call.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a
One
dad
more
today.
time. All those boys are much too much. Those boys.
This financial advisor is being accused of committing one of the largest investment frauds in the history of the United States.
I guess we're not going to Aspen. That's fine. You see, I like tennis balls. He likes insider trading. So he's going to jail and I'm going to a shelter. And no, they're not the same thing. Shelters are for good pets that want to be adopted. Jails are for criminals. I've done nothing. Uh-oh. Ooh, okay, I stole a cheeseburger once. I'm a dog.
Hello and welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Justin Page. The football team is reeling after its fourth consecutive loss to NC State. And for the senior class at UNC, that's an upsetting statistic. But as reporter Emily Hawks tells us, for those players, it's not all about the numbers.
The 2010 football season hasn't been an outstanding one. It's been one plagued with mistakes and uncertainties and heartbreaking losses. But for the 17 seniors on the team, it isn't about the season record, or any record for that matter. It's about each other.
We on the field together, but even what people don't see off the field is how tight we are, how close. Like, we go out to eat it together all the time. It's just that bond that we share.
This year's senior class is special. Quarterback TJ Yates broke the school career passing yards record against NC State. Anthony Elsie finished the game with 178 receiving yards, the most in school history by a running back. But the seniors this year aren't special because of statistics.
4 years ago, these 17 seniors, they played a huge role in changing the culture of this football program, the expectations of this football program. They fought their hearts out for 3 straight consecutive seasons. They have made football relevant at North Carolina again.
UNC now stands at a mediocre 6-5 going into the last game of the season. The Heels are bowl eligible for the 4th straight year, but bear the signs of a mentally and physically brutal season. Yet that still doesn't seem to faze the leaders on this team.
We just fight, man. We're fighters, man. And a lot of the guys that we had are hard character guys and, just don't know what give up means. And, whatever the results of the game are or records or whatever, man, I don't think that there was ever a time when we gave in to anything.
And you can bet these seniors will continue to fight, not just for a win, but for each other. In Chapel Hill, I'm Emily Hawks, Carolina Week.
Now, we'll certainly miss those players at Kenan Stadium. The Heels will play their final regular season game on Saturday, as John mentioned earlier, at Duke. Switching gears, the football team's loss to State was only the beginning of a terrible weekend for UNC sports. And right now, the men's basketball team is one of several groups looking for answers. Coach Roy Williams can't be too happy with his team so far. The Heels are off to their worst start since 2001. And this weekend down in Puerto Rico, they lost not 1, but 2 games to unranked opponents. And the Heels are looking pretty sloppy doing it. Against Vanderbilt, they turned the ball over 22 times and couldn't guard the 3. To make things worse, preseason All-America Harrison Barnes, well, he couldn't buy a basket all weekend, it seemed. And now at 2-2, the Heels will need to get it together soon. They take on UNC Asheville tomorrow at the Smith Center. The field hockey team is also reeling after dropping the championship game to Maryland in double overtime. The Heels maintained a 2-1 lead for most of the second half, but the Terps pulled a fast one on goalie Jackie Kinser with 7.5 minutes left to send the game into overtime. And it looked like it would be a scoreless second overtime until Maryland fired one from just inside the circle right here, not in overtime, but in double overtime. Look at that goal to give the Terps the championship. Just a heartbreaker for Carolina. They end their season with a 3rd straight loss to Maryland. The women's soccer team will also have to look to next season after losing to Notre Dame this weekend in the NCAA tournament. Check this out right here. Mistakes like this one cost the Heels Saturday night against the Irish. Freshman Crystal Dunn would score the equalizer a few minutes later. Look at this powerful finish with the left leg right there. That was actually her 9th goal of the season, but it was all Notre Dame after that. The Irish scored 3 unanswered goals to rout the Heels 4-1, and the game was the first match the Heels have lost by more than a single goal since 1985. However, it wasn't all bad for Carolina this weekend. The men's soccer team is advancing to the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament after surviving Sunday's game against Georgetown. The Heels kept the game scoreless with great defense like this save right here by goalkeeper Scott Goodwin. And after 2 overtimes, the game came down to a shootout. Goodwin once again gave the Heels the advantage with that save right there. And here it is. Alex Walters knocks it in to give the Heels the win. They'll take on Michigan State at 3 p.m. Sunday at Fetzer Field. Meanwhile, the women's basketball team is cruising into Thanksgiving after continuing its early season dominance. Friday night against Coastal Carolina, the Heels D was on point, sparking a 36-2 run to start the game. That's incredible. And look at Italy Lucas. She paced the ladies with 15 points as they glide to an easy 93-37 win. There you see it right there. Defense was also the story once again Sunday against Western Carolina. Check out number 22, Satara DeGraffenried. Incredible game for her. She posted a near triple-double with 7 points, 8 assists, and 7 steals, including this one right here, leading to the very easy bucket for Jessica Breland. Heels get the win, 93-36. And keeping it positive, the women's volleyball team is feeling good after closing out the regular season with 2 straight wins. On Friday against Clemson, watch Christine Vaughn with the kill. She had 15 of those as the Heels sweep the Tigers. And then on Sunday, the Heels faced Georgia Tech on Senior Day. And here's Suzanne Haydel with the smash. And Courtney Johnston, watch this right here. She goes up, delivers the kill, but watch her land on her left knee. That's got to hurt a little bit. She would leave the game in the first set, but the Heels came back to beat the Jackets 3-2. UNC improves to 23-9 overall and 14-5 in the ACC. So there you have it, a bittersweet weekend for Carolina athletics.
Yeah, let's just hope we can get it together in the next couple weeks.
Most definitely.
Thanks, Justin. So, Eddie, what do people mean when they say you have a face for radio?
What is this? Hate on Eddie Day? Whatever. Anyway, coming up, the place to go to be on the radio.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week and Carolina Connection online at carolinaweek.org.
Welcome home, man.
UNC's radio station WXYC is one of the few college stations that has a live DJ on air at all times and gives them the freedom to play almost anything they want.
Our colleagues at reesenews.org take us inside.
I remember getting a call at like maybe 3 or 4 in the morning saying, "You're a DJ now," and I'd already given up. It was just kind of a spur of the moment thing, but I'm really happy I did it. It's 4:46 p.m. and you're listening to WXYC Chapel Hill 89.3 FM. You do have a lot of freedom as a DJ, and we encourage you playing something from every room, so something from Asian Pacific and something from hip-hop, electronica, and just matching it, making it sound cohesive.
WXYC has a storied history of doing things a little bit different than a lot of the other college stations. You can tune in at any time of any day and you'll hear a live DJ, never a computer. XYC is a free format station. Most college stations have genre-specific programming, meaning that at 5 o'clock you'll hear the rock block. The record library here at XYC is about 70,000 plus. And it's actually predominantly vinyl.
Radio is kind of a dying art form, but being a radio DJ can be a really great artistic outlet for the community. Like, you can hear anything at any given time, and I think there's something really spontaneous and great about that.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.